Hey guys, it's Kesara, and today I'm going to be doing my June week 3 reading vlog. So in last week's vlog, I think I had a really weird week because I started off really strong, but then I fell back into the starting a lot of books and not finishing them, and then I just fell for the romantic contemporaries again. So I ended up finishing, I think it was 3 books last week, which sounds really good. 2 of them were books that I actually read last week. One was a reread that I've been doing for like a month and a half, so it doesn't fully count as last week's book, but I'm gonna count it so that it sounds like a nice round number of 3 books in 1 week. But if you guys missed that vlog, I will link it up in the cards, you guys, so you can check it out. But like always, I'm gonna start off this week's vlog by summarizing the books that I'm currently reading. So I have 1 book that is still a rollover from May, from the rereads that I started in May, and that's A Storm of Swords by George R.R. Martin. So I didn't mention this book too much last week. I did make like a teensy bit of progress on it, but I'm reading this one really slow. I had expected to read it a little bit faster so that I could finish it by the end of June, but I have a feeling that I'm gonna drag it out into July. I just have a feeling that that's what's gonna happen, but don't expect too many updates from this unless I feel very strongly about something when I read. But for the most part, I am still rereading this one, mostly on audio, but that's because I just want to finish my reread of the series. Not finish, because I don't plan on continuing on with Feast of Crows or Dance with Dragons. I just want to finish A Storm of Swords, since I started the other 2 books in May when I was like in a reading slump. So yeah, I'm still doing this. And then yesterday, I decided to start a new audiobook. I was having trouble trying to figure out what I was gonna read because I started several books. Like there were several books that I started and I would read like the first chapter in and then I'll just put it down. And some of them were ones that I was really excited for. Some of them were on my TBR. And then some of them were just like guilty pleasure ones that I wanted to read, and it just wasn't happening. But then I picked up Dawn by Octavia E. Butler. I've had my eyes on this book for a couple of weeks now, and I decided to borrow a sample of the audiobook from Audible because my library doesn't have the audiobook for this one. It only has the ebook. So I borrowed the sample and I was immediately drawn into the story. So I decided to buy the book from Audible, which I don't buy books from Audible often, especially from new-to-be authors. So that was kind of a step out of my comfort zone to buy the book straight from Audible like that, because Audible is pretty expensive in comparison to other services, but it was the only place that I could find the audiobook. And so far, oh my gosh, this book is crazy good. My initial impressions of this book were just like, this is really weird, but like in the best way possible. And also, I think this author has the most beautiful writing. Like, I absolutely love her writing. You can tell she is technically brilliant as a writer, which I really love. It is still like an incredibly weird book. It's about aliens, but like humans were extinct or basically very near extinction, and this alien race like swooped in to help save humanity. But at the same time, like the humans, at least our main character who is a human, is not very happy to be there. She considers herself kind of a prisoner, and I don't disagree with her. It's very interesting. It is incredibly interesting. It's very alien in certain ways and incredibly unique. I am really enjoying it so far. It is like the only thing that can keep my attention right now, and I'm really excited to continue on with it. I'm about like halfway through the book right now, so like considering it's only Sunday and I started it last night, there's a good chance I can finish this book really early on in the week. And then earlier today, I decided to start Empire of the Sand by Tasha Suri. I had started another fantasy book last week and decided to put it down because I just wasn't in the mood for it. I decided to start this one instead of that one because that one was kind of like a lighter fantasy book. It was kind of in between light and like deep, if you know what I mean. And it wasn't what I was looking for. I'm hoping that Empire of the Sand will be more of what I'm looking for. It has a similar sort of vibe to that one, but this one I've heard more things about. I've heard that people really like this one. It also has interesting mythology. incorporated in it, and I've heard there's a little bit of a romance, but it doesn't like overtake the story. I don't know how to explain it, but I'm not that far into it either, so we'll see. Hopefully I'll end up loving this though. I'm really close to the beginning though, like barely any of it read, but I'm excited to get more into it. So it is Monday, June 15th, and I don't know how I forgot to mention this yesterday, but I'm also currently reading Tigana by Guy Gavriel Kay. I started this book last week. I'm not super far into it yet. I'm like right there. So I made pretty good progress on it last week. I'm gonna be starting chapter 2, but I want to make more progress on it this week. This is a book that I've been meaning to read for years now. So I'm really excited to get to it. So far, I'm really enjoying it, and it is a deeply political fantasy novel. So of course, I'm probably gonna love this. And I'm excited to see where it's going because I feel like it's one of those novels that just gets better the longer that you read it. And I also just finished Dawn by Octavia Butler. So this was really interesting. Like really, really interesting. I don't even fully understand what I just read. It's about a woman named Lilith who wakes up and found that she's been kidnapped by aliens, except maybe the rest of the human race is extinct and they're on this spaceship, but they have a chance to go back down to Earth, and Lilith is going to be the human that leads her people back down to Earth. All of her people are like in stasis or whatever right now. They're like sleeping or whatever. It's super weird, but incredibly gripping from the very beginning. Like it was one of the only books that I can actually make progress on at the end of the week last week. I'm in a weird state right now where sometimes I can read, sometimes I can't, and it is what it is. But I loved it. I don't even know what to say about it other than Butler's writing style is brilliant. I absolutely love her writing. It was one of the weirdest, most originally unique, like sci-fi books that I've ever read. I really enjoyed that aspect of it, and I'm excited to continue on with the series. It is devastating at points. It is hard to read at times. It's also really thought-provoking. So I don't know how to explain that, but I really enjoyed it. I ended up giving it 4.5 stars. I am so angry right now. It's all Libby's fault too. So I decided to start Sleeping Giants by Sylvain Neuval. Since I finished Dawn by Octavia Butler, I needed a new audiobook, and I'm kind of on a little bit of a sci-fi kick, and this was on my TBR for this month. So far, I am loving it. Like, I absolutely love where this is going. I love the writing style. I love the formatting of this because this is one of those like mass media formats. And the audiobook is fantastic. I'm loving the audiobook. Except that I was listening to the audiobook, like actively listening to it, and it just goes silent. And I looked at my phone, it's still playing, but it's completely silent. So I'm like trying to figure out what's going on. So I pause it and like I go back in the Libby app, and then I look at my shelf and like all of my books disappeared on my loan shelf. I was just like, what did Libby do? So like I go to the library, I find Sleeping Giants. It shows that it's not borrowed, so I click borrow and it says there's an error. So I go back to my shelf, still nothing on the shelf. I check my hold shelf, nothing on my hold shelf, and I'm just like, what did Libby do? It didn't show that I had a library card anymore, so I had to input my library card. But of course, I only use my library card for the Libby app. Like, that's the only time I ever use my library card. I didn't have my library card. I didn't know where it was, let's put it that way. I thought it was in my wallet, so I had to find my wallet. Didn't know where my wallet was. Found my wallet. It wasn't in my wallet. So I checked my old wallet. It wasn't in my old wallet. Like just checking all the way around my house, I finally found my library card. And at Libby, for the library card, you need a pin. I got the library card, need to figure out what my pin is. I don't know what my pin is. So I go to the library like website and I try a bunch of things for my pin, and like they all come up as like wrong. I'm just like, what's going on? You know that thing where you could like say you forgot your pin? So I put the forgot your pin and I put in my card, and it just says it doesn't recognize my card. So I was like, oh crap. I lost my card, there's something wrong with it, blah, blah, blah. I see somewhere that it says like your PIN is the last 4 digits of your phone number. So I just tried to log into the library and it worked perfectly fine. I just needed to create an account. Apparently I hadn't created an account. Fine, whatever. So I'm logged into the library, there's nothing wrong with my card. So I go back to Libby, I know my PIN now, type in the library card, type in the PIN. It didn't work. I tried again and again and again, and it just doesn't work. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. Sometimes it just says can't connect to your library. Sometimes it says we can't connect to our authentication server, whatever that means. So I lost all of my audiobooks. I'm hoping that tomorrow when I try and do this, that it will work. Sleeping Giants I have on Libby, which I mean, yes, I have the physical book and I could read the physical book, but the whole point of picking up the audiobook was so that I would have an audiobook to read. I read a lot faster if I can switch between the audio and the physical book, or if I can follow along with the physical book with the audiobook, or, you know, just listen to the audiobook when I'm supposed to be like, I don't know, doing something else, or like while I'm doing something else, like doing the dishes and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm really mad about that. But yes, currently reading this, loving it. I don't know where I am in it because I didn't check the chapter before the audiobook just kicked me off. But yeah, I'm really angry because I don't have the audiobook for this anymore. Also don't have the audiobook for Tigana anymore. So I'm loving Tigana. I did make more progress on it. I don't know how much progress I made because listening to it earlier, but I found myself like doing other things and not paying attention to it. So I skipped back in the audiobook. So I don't know exactly where I skipped back to. And now I don't have access to the audiobook anymore. So I'm really angry. So yeah, don't have the audiobook for this one either. This one, I had also borrowed on audio just in case I wanted to skip back and forth between the physical and the audiobook. I haven't done that yet with this one. I don't even know if I like the audiobook for this one, but I don't have the audiobook for this one either. Which, by the way, I actually do really love the audiobook for Tigana. It is narrated by Sam and Vance, who is one of my favorite audiobook narrators, which is why, like, I absolutely love the audiobook for Tigana, but this is one that I'm going to read a lot slower than, say, Sleeping Giants, which I could pretty much, like, if I had the audiobook, I think I'd be able to finish this book tomorrow, how fast I'm going through it already. I'm so angry right now, because, like, I want to read before going to bed, but I don't know what to read. I'll probably end up reading Empire of the Sand because I'm reading that more physically anyway. Yeah, I'm a little sad right now. I don't know what I'm going to do if the Libby app doesn't work tomorrow. Like, I don't know, because, like, I can't have 3 physical-only books at once, so I think I'd have to put one of those on pause. I do have 2 audiobooks on Audible that I've been considering picking up. The Left Hand of Darkness by Ursula Le Guin, which is a pretty deep sci-fi book, so, like, I could definitely do that one instead of Sleeping Giants, but I'm really enjoying Sleeping Giants. Like, I don't want to put down Sleeping Giants. And the other option for the audiobook would be the one that I have in Audible, is An Echo of Things to Come by James Islington, because my library doesn't own the audiobook for it. So I have the physical book, but since it's such a chunky book, I like to switch between the physical and the audiobook. And so I got the audiobook from Audible. So I can do that one, but that's fantasy. So then I have to put down Tigana, but I really don't want to put down Tigana either because I'm really enjoying Tigana. So yeah, I'm just hoping that in the morning everything will magically resolve and my library card will work again. But if not, then we're gonna make some hard choices. And I'm gonna be really angry. Seriously, I was so angry at these guys for like an hour, but it's not their fault. It's the Libby app, and I'm still livid about it. Okay, so it's Tuesday morning, and the Libby app started working again, like perfectly fine. All of my loans were there, all of my holds were there. So we're good. I'm not gonna freak out anymore. Though I will say, last night I wasn't feeling like reading a physical book, and I didn't want to start a new book just in case Libby did start working. So I decided to continue on with my reread of A Storm of Swords by George R.R. Martin. I listened to about like 2 of the chapters yesterday. All I have to say about that is I love Davos, and Sansa is so annoying. That's all I have to say. Overall, I'm really enjoying it. I'm so happy that Libby's working again. You have no idea. So it is Wednesday, June 17th. It's like the 5th time that I tried to film this clip between like me just not hitting click and then getting phone calls in the middle because I film with my phone. So as soon as I get a phone call, it just like stops the clip. I only have like a 5-minute break right now, but I wanted to get this clip in before the sun goes away. So I found out yesterday that I'm gonna be traveling for work next week, which I'm actually really excited about. It wasn't a you have to go sort of thing. It was more of a we need help at this other location. And I kind of volunteered, and I'm really excited for it because I'm going to be going to New Orleans, which I've never been to the New Orleans, and I'm going to be staying in the French Quarter, so I'm really excited for that. But it also means that since I'm not going to be here next week, I have to pre-film all of my videos for next week because I already had them planned out, and I'm excited for them, and I still want to do them next week. So I have like 2 days before I have to fly out on Saturday to pre-film, edit, and upload all of these videos. So the rest of this week might be a little bit boring because I'm not going to have as much time for reading, unfortunately. But I'm pretty excited for the trip, and next week's vlog is going to be amazing. So it is Thursday, June 18th, and last night I finished Sleeping Giants by Sylvain Neuval. This one kind of crept up on me. I didn't expect it to finish. I don't know, I wasn't paying attention to like the time left on the audiobook, so like it just kind of finished and I was like, that's how it's gonna end? Because the ending, the ending of this is great. I do think like about a third, like in the very middle of this book, I was just kind of about, but overall I really like this book. I love the writing. I do think that his writing works better in smaller doses though. Like the test was like the perfect amount of just action-packed goodness, and he writes in a very show don't tell way, which is great. I absolutely love it. We just get these like snapshots of things that are going on, and we get lots of action of what's going on, and you're like constantly in motion, it feels like, while you're reading this book, if that makes sense. But there's not really a sigh of relief point, which it is what it is, but I enjoyed it and I ended up giving it 4.25 stars. I did, after I finished that one, because I was like in the middle of something and I was just like, I want to continue reading Sleeping Giants. Like I want to continue reading it. I just picked up Waking Gods like for a second. I listened to like the first half an hour or so, like a good portion of it. And then I was just like, wait, hold on. There's a time skip and I don't really want to start a whole new story. If it hadn't had the time skip, I probably would have just continued on. But since there was the time skip, I was just like, I have a lot of other books that I'm reading right now that I need to finish. And that one was not on my TBR or anything. So I was like, let me just wait and I will read it again later. I don't know if I'm gonna read it next month, just because next month I have a theme that I'm really, really excited for, but I'll definitely get to it before September. Let's put it that way. Before the end of September, because September is my sci-fi month, which I really love doing sci-fi in September. I really, really enjoyed this, and I'm so glad that I read it. So if you guys saw one of my more recent videos where I tried tier ranking out and I tier ranked all the books that I read this year, I think I've come to realize that I rank books too high. Like, I don't think of them that way. But like when I'm reading a book, I'm just like, it was okay. Like it wasn't a bad book, so I'm gonna give it 4 stars. No, that's a 3-star rating. That's not a 4-star rating. I kind of went through all of my Goodreads and changed the ratings based on my current feelings of the books and how the books have stayed with me. So like, if I rated a book really high at the time, but I completely forgot about it the week later, I bumped it down like a star rating. I have pretty good memory, so I didn't change any ratings for books that I didn't remember. Like I changed ratings only for books that I remembered. I might not remember like all the details in it, but I remember like all of like the major things that happened in it and all my feelings about the book. Some of my ratings that I did in my wrap-ups, even as close as my most recent wrap-up, May wrap-up, I changed some of the ratings that I did in those books as well. They're gonna be off from what like I actually feel now. I don't know. I decided to do that, so if you see something, like you see me do a review where I say, I gave this book 5 stars, and then you look at my Goodreads and it's like 4 stars, that's why. I think part of it is that like once I finish a book, like I've been in that book and I've been in that headspace, I feel good about it. Like you feel good about something, you're more likely to uprate it. I don't know. But anyways, so I did that, and I'm gonna try and pay a little bit more attention to that in the future when I rate books. Like for example, Sleeping Giants, I rated it last night and I was just like, oh, this book is so great, I should give it like 4.75 stars. And I was just like, wait, hold on. Let me like, wait a second, think about my whole experience with the book, not just the ending, because I have a tendency to do that too, and the ending was great in this one. How in 6 months am I gonna feel about this book? And I was like, in 6 months, I'll probably feel closer to like a 4.25 star. So that's why this one got 4.25 stars. That's kind of a really random ramble, but I thought I would just mention that. So it's Friday, June 19th. I mentioned earlier this week that I'm gonna be traveling for work next week. So I'm flying out on Saturday morning. So that means I have to finish this vlog kind of early, but also it means that I've been looking up like some media that I want to take with me. I don't necessarily want to take a lot of physical books because I read like 3 to 4 books a week. I can't take 3 to 4 books with me. So I'm going to be taking 2 physical books, but the rest of it's going to be all on my iPad. So audiobooks, ebooks, like even Netflix shows that I'm downloading right now are all going to be on my iPad. I downloaded a lot of ebooks. I downloaded a lot of audiobooks, and I was just like, you know what? Let me try something a little bit lighter, something a little bit easier. So I wanted to download a couple of graphic novels. And the one that first came to mind of something that I wanted to try was Saga by Vaughn. It's mostly because this is raved about all the time on BookTube. So last night I was like, I don't even know if graphic novels will look good on my iPad, so I just wanted to try it, and it was available at my library, so I downloaded it, and I read like the first chapter last night, and I was immediately drawn into the story. First of all, the art style for this graphic novel is beautiful. I like the way the iPad uses the graphic novel, because normally, like when I read Kindle books, I don't read it on my iPad. I normally read it on my Kindle, which is black and white, and it's like a pretty small screen. So I'm pretty sure like if I was reading it on my Kindle, I wouldn't like it half as much, because the color and like the art style in this graphic novel definitely makes it so much better, and I absolutely love it. And well, I finished it. I finished it this morning. I read like half of it last night, and then I had to go to sleep because I was tired. And then this morning I was just like, I really want to read Saga this morning. I should have been packing, I should have been making breakfast, I should have been doing so many other things, but instead I decided to read this graphic novel. So yeah, I finished the first volume. I absolutely loved it. It was definitely a little shocking. Like I didn't expect some of the scenes in there, and I think it would have been less shocking if it was like a novel and not a graphic novel, because emphasis on the graphic at points, but I really enjoyed it. I really like the setup of the story in this one. It's about an interracial couple, because there's the horns and the wings. Well, one's from a planet, one's from a moon, and they're always at war with each other apparently, but two of them fall in love and they have a baby that is a hybrid of the two, which her name's Hazel, and she's kind of like the narrator of it. Like honestly, like when I'm reading this, I forget that I'm reading and I feel like I'm watching a TV show, but like it's fantastic. I really enjoyed it, and I gave it 4.5 stars, at least the first volume. I think altogether this could potentially be like a 5-star series for me. So yeah, really enjoying it so far, and I'm definitely excited to continue on with the rest. I went ahead on my iPad and downloaded the next 3 volumes. The only reason I didn't do more than that is because volume 5 wasn't available to borrow from my library. I had to put it on hold, and it doesn't make sense to borrow any of the later volumes if I'm gonna be waiting like 3 weeks for volume 5. So I have volumes 2, 3, and 4 that I'm planning to read while I'm on the plane. I have made quite a bit of progress on Empire of the Sand by Tasha Suri. I know I haven't been talking about this one that much. That's because for the most part, I thought it was just okay, because like the beginning of this novel, at least like the first half or so of this book, we're very much inside the main character's head, and it's just a pet peeve of mine. I don't like monologues that are just repeating things that we already know and just putting the character's feelings about it. It's fine. Like I know there's some people that like this. I personally don't. Like the plot of this and the actual characters and everything, I actually really like. Other than that one writing style choice, everything else about this I'm actually really enjoying. But because of that writing style choice, for the longest while I was just like, this is gonna be a 3-star book for me. I'm gonna keep reading it. It's intriguing. But like the last like chapter or so that I've read, I am so into this book right now. Like so into it. It's so good. I'm pretty far into it. I am right there. So like about that much left. You can tell because this is the grayed out pages. I'm really excited to finish this one. I'm probably gonna finish this one today. Unfortunately, you're not gonna get my thoughts on this one today because I'm gonna have to end this vlog super early. But before I go to bed tonight, I'm hoping to finish this book today. I'm super excited for it. It is very romance heavy though. I think either earlier on in this vlog or one of my other videos I mentioned the romance doesn't take over the plot. Well, that's a lie. The romance does take over the plot to a very significant degree, but luckily I actually really like the romance in this one, so I'm really enjoying it. So since I have to end this vlog early, I'll do a quick summary of what I did this week. So I finished 3 things this week. The first one was Dawn by Octavia E. Butler. This is the first book in the Xenogenesis series, and I'm pretty excited to move on to the next one. I don't know when I'm gonna do it. Definitely before the end of September though. I will definitely get to the next book in this series, and I'm super excited for it. It was definitely very different than anything I was expecting. It's the most alien aliens that I've ever read about, and it's fantastic. And the other book that I finished was Sleeping Giants by Sylvain Neuval, which was fantastic. I definitely love the way this author writes, and it definitely has a very mysterious vibe to it that I really liked, and I love the formatting. Also, I listened to the audiobook for this one as well, and the audiobook is fantastic, like really good. Highly recommend the audiobook. So excited to move on with this series as well. And I already mentioned Saga Volume 1. I'm excited to continue on with that one. There's a good chance I might just binge read that series next week, so yeah. So that's all I have for you guys today. I post videos on Sundays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and and Saturdays, so consider subscribing. I also post bonus videos, so if you want to be notified as soon as I upload, you can click that little bell icon. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up to support my channel. All social media links are in the description down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!